Hello, my name is Claudia Ocampo. I'm a licensed professional counselor in the state of Texas, and I am also a registered play therapist. I am here to tell you a little bit about the Leadership Academy. I was honored to be selected to be part of the 2019 Leadership Academy among some amazing colleagues that I adore. Um, and so there's some things I learned along the way, and so hopefully I get to share what I learned so it can help you in your journey if you're planning or even considering applying to the Leadership Academy. So, first of all, I I believed the Leadership Academy was really gonna focus on how to be a great leader and how to be a great play therapist and how I can be of service and how to get involved with the association. I did learn some of those pieces. However, to be honest, when the Leadership Academy started, I was a little confused and overwhelmed because it also covers so much more, right? We learn a lot about the procedures, the protocols in place, the structure of how the association is structured, how policy gets made, how task forces and committees are developed and how they interact with each other. Uh, you learn how the CEO and the board and the membership have different roles and responsibilities. Like you really learn how APT functions as an association. And so, three things that I think are very important that you bring with you if you're going to participate is these three things are like the first one. I think the most important thing is commitment, right? It's going to take time and it's going to take energy. So for those 4 or 5 months that you're making this commitment for, you are going to have to check in the discussion boards and interact and do the readings that sometimes you're assigned to read in order to have an educated opinion. It takes commitment because it does take time. I usually recommend, I used to have to check the discussion boards twice a day, once in the morning and then once at night before going to bed, just to make sure that I didn't fall behind in people's comments and the discussions that were happening, because things kind of tend to move pretty fast once the discussion boards are open. And so it takes commitment and time and energy. Uh, and so on the same note, another thing that I think is important for you to bring is engagement, right? Because the discussion boards where you interact with your colleagues uh, move pretty fast. And so then you need to be present and invested in providing your opinion and your outlook on things and what you believe, because everyone's voice is important and it needs to be heard. So engagement is really important. And then the third thing I would say it's also very important is being authentic, right? Your voice is unique and it matters, and you bring a set of experience and ideas and beliefs that nobody else in that group brings, regardless if you are a newbie, an intern, or an associate, or if you've done this for 20, 30, 40, 50 years, right? Everyone's voice is valid and it matters. And so I guess a fourth thing that is important to bring is courage. Courage to be authentic, courage to speak up and to sometimes be the only voice that goes against what the group is saying, right? Or to be a devil's advocate and say, well, what about this and what about that? Without actually derailing the, or not purposely derailing the conversation and the discussion happening in the group. Uh, I love being in the Leadership Academy, and I made connections with colleagues that I would not have made otherwise. And then I was selected to be part of the committee for the following 2 years as well. And so it was interesting to see the Leadership Academy from the other side and witness how my colleagues grew as leaders and how they participated and how they develop their topics and how they just grew as leaders, right? So that was pretty cool to witness as well. And so I want to encourage you to apply if you never have applied. And if you have applied multiple times and had not been selected, I want to encourage you to keep applying because you are needed in our association. Volunteers are needed, leaders are needed, and every voice is valid and every voice matters. And so everyone deserves a seat at the table. And the way we do that is by sometimes we have to bring our own chair to the table, right? And then tell people to squeeze and make room for us. And there is room for each and every person. And so I want to encourage you to apply. And if you ever have any questions or have any doubts or need someone's opinion or advice, feel free to contact me. I'm always an email away. And I hope to see you one day at the Leadership Academy gathering that we have every year as a Leadership Academy graduate.